Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a massive, fundamental shift happening in modern manufacturing right now. We're putting dry ice blasting head-to-head against traditional cleaning methods, and we're going to keep a laser focus on the two things that absolutely make or break your operations: production downtime and environmental impact. We're going to see exactly why old-school industrial cleaning is holding manufacturing back, and how this really fascinating science-backed alternative is just completely changing the game.
So, let's kick things off with a question that honestly sounds a bit impossible at first glance. Can you clean heavy, complex industrial machinery without using a single drop of water, no harsh chemicals, and, here's the kicker, without taking the machinery apart at all? 10 years ago, the answer was a flat no. Today, it's the everyday reality of modern maintenance. To see how we actually pull that off, we're going to quickly walk through 5 key areas. We'll look at the traditional cleaning trap, the dry ice solution itself, how to win the downtime war, the eco-friendly edge, and finally, what this means for the future of manufacturing. All right, let's jump right into part 1, the traditional cleaning trap. We really have to start by exposing the massive financial and operational sinkholes built into the old ways of doing things. Because here's the reality. Traditional methods force you into this awful pick-your-poison scenario. Think about it. You use sandblasting? Sure, it's aggressive, but it causes heavy surface damage, literally chewing up your expensive molds over time. Okay, so maybe you switch to pressure washing. Well, now you're introducing massive electrical and moisture risks. A little water in the wrong motor and your whole line is down. And chemical cleaning? That just leaves you with a hazardous waste nightmare. It's like every time you solve one problem, you're just paying to create another one. And this completely illustrates that stark contrast. When you stack dry ice blasting up against sand, water, or chemicals, it's pretty wild. With dry ice, your downtime is incredibly low, surface damage risk is basically non-existent, and secondary waste is absolute zero. The old methods, they're constantly maxing out on damage, waste, or downtime. It's no wonder factories are literally abandoning chemical systems to get their operational efficiency back on track. Which brings us to part 2, the dry ice solution. Let's demystify the actual technology making this zero-waste, damage-free cleaning possible. What exactly is happening here?
Well, it's not magic, it's just really cool science. The whole process relies on 3 mechanisms working together perfectly. First up, kinetic energy. You've got compressed air accelerating these relatively soft, solid CO2 pellets at crazy speeds. Second is thermal shock. We're talking rapid cooling down to negative 109 degrees Fahrenheit. And third is sublimation expansion. That means those solid pellets instantly convert into a gas, expanding like 800 times in volume the second they hit the surface. Combined, they just lift contaminants right off without chewing up the sensitive machinery underneath.
Actually, the best way to visualize that thermal shock is to think about what happens when you drop an ice cube into a hot glass, right? The sudden temperature drop creates immediate stress fractures. That's exactly what's happening on a microscopic level here. When the freezing dry ice hits a hot, contaminated surface, like an automotive mold, it weakens the bond of all that baked-on grease and carbon. Then, boom, the expanding gas blows it all away.
Okay, let's move to part 3, winning the downtime war. This is where we really start seeing the overwhelming advantage when it comes to production downtime. Honestly, this is where the financial argument just becomes a total no-brainer.
Look at this. Research from Deloitte shows that unplanned downtime is costing industrial manufacturers billions of dollars every single year. Billions. Downtime isn't just an annoying hiccup, it's a massive financial drain. Every hour your line is stopped is lost revenue, delayed shipments, and plummeting productivity. You just can't afford to have your machines sitting idle simply because they need a bath. And this is exactly where dry ice blasting attacks that lost time. How? By letting you clean complex equipment, whether it's hot molds or really intricate CNC machines, right in place. No lengthy teardowns. In the past, you'd have to cool the mold down, take it all apart, clean it, put it back together, and reheat it. It took forever. With dry ice, the equipment stays hot, it stays fully operational, and you just clean it in line. It drastically slashes labor hours. And because it's completely non-abrasive, your machines actually live a lot longer. If you're running a 24/7 manufacturing plant, swapping out a traditional teardown for inline cleaning is a total game changer. We're talking about turning days of grueling maintenance into just a few hours. The ultimate operational goal is crystal clear: seriously slashing your equipment downtime. Moving on to part 4, the eco-friendly edge. Let's tackle our second major focus area, the environmental impact of your cleaning protocols. Because let's face it, in today's landscape, environmental compliance, It's not optional anymore. When you put dry ice up against chemical or water-based systems, the environmental edge is just undeniable. Take a look at the secondary waste and water usage. With old-school pressure washing, you're burning through gallons of water and creating a massive wastewater problem. Chemical cleaning? Now you're stuck with toxic secondary waste. But dry ice? Because the solid CO2 sublimates, meaning it turns completely back into a gas the second it hits, you get exactly zero secondary waste and zero water usage. None. And that creates this game-changing reality on the factory floor. Since the dry ice just vanishes into thin air, your team only has to sweep up the actual dirt that was removed. That's it. You're completely eliminating the massive headache and the crazy high costs of managing toxic secondary waste or treating contaminated industrial wastewater. No dirty runoff, no leftover chemicals, no sandy sludge to shovel up. And we all know the cost of dealing with that waste is just staggering. The EPA is very clear on this. Industrial wastewater management and hazardous waste disposal are huge, ongoing operational expenses. Traditional cleanup is a massive financial anchor. So by totally cutting out secondary waste, dry ice blasting isn't just an efficiency upgrade, it's a mandatory upgrade for staying compliant without going broke. But the sustainability benefits actually go even deeper. This process uses reclaimed CO2 from existing industrial processes, which means absolutely zero new carbon emissions are added to the atmosphere. You're skipping the harsh solvents and volatile organic compounds entirely. So if your company is pushing for serious ESG goals, this perfectly aligns with the kind of green manufacturing strategies the market is demanding right now. It's faster and it's infinitely cleaner. All right, let's wrap this up with part 5, the future of manufacturing. Where is all this heading? And what does it mean for the future of smart, automated maintenance? First off, we kind of need a paradigm shift. We have to stop thinking of dry ice blasting as just a niche cleaning trick. It has completely evolved into a high ROI, strategic maintenance tool. Think of it as a vital asset that aggressively boosts productivity, guards your highly sensitive robotics and electrical cabinets, and permanently drives down long-term operating costs. Of course, choosing the right tool really just comes down to the scale of your operation. You've got agile, portable setups like the Aiolith AI30, which is absolutely perfect for food processing plants, mobile detailing, or nimble maintenance teams. And then on the flip side, you have absolute beasts like the Aiolith AI50, a heavy-duty, high-output machine built for ripping through thick carbon buildup, paint stripping, and massive manufacturing restoration projects. But you know what's really exciting? The future is literally already here. We're seeing this massive, rapid shift towards smart, data-driven robotic systems. Automation is taking dry ice tech and integrating it directly into the production line for repetitive tasks. It gets humans out of the danger zone and delivers perfect, precise cleaning consistency every single time. Throw in some IoT for real-time monitoring, automated alerts, and predictive analytics, and you're looking at a maintenance system that practically thinks for itself. So I want to leave you with one final thought regarding your own facility's efficiency and environmental footprint. If your operation is still churning out hazardous secondary waste and you're still losing countless hours to unnecessary equipment teardowns, are you really practicing modern manufacturing? The data is pretty clear. If you want to stay competitive, it's time to leave the traditional cleaning trap in the past. Thanks for joining me for this explainer and keep innovating.